Hackers are targeting South Africans like never before, and most of us don't even realize how. Today we're unpacking the country's rise as Africa's cybercrime capital, government's renewed push for a high-speed train between major cities, and the big change coming to our tertiary education sector. Plus, in the wildcard, why Pretoria and not Joburg or Cape Town became South Africa's executive capital. My friends, if you are enjoying the show, be sure to like and subscribe. And now, with all that out the way, let's get into it. So it usually starts with a WhatsApp or an email that looks harmless and ends with your bank account being drained. South Africa is now reportedly the most targeted country in Africa for major cyber attacks, logging more than 110 serious incidents in the past 5 years, from large-scale DOD leaks and ransom demands to full-blown system shutdowns. And look, that doesn't include the thousands of smaller scams hitting South Africans every single day. Experts say that these serious cases target large organizations because of the sheer amount of sensitive data that they hold. And while every country has banks and government servers, South Africa's rapid digital expansion paired with older infrastructure and under-resourced security teams makes it far easier for criminals to slip through. Microsoft's latest digital defense report found that South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya face over 80% of Africa's cyber attacks, with the region often used as a testing ground for these global hacking groups trying to break into state systems. I mean, even South Africa's own government networks have been hit over the past few years, the most recent one being the breach of our own treasury through, ironically, a Microsoft document sharing vulnerability. So in response to all of this, government is now stepping up awareness campaigns and tougher laws under the Cybercrimes Act. Because, hey, in 2025, South Africa's biggest break-ins are happening through screens, not doors. So the idea of catching a high-speed train from Johannesburg to Durban has been floating around for years. But this time, government says it is serious. You see, Transport Minister Barbara Creecy has officially invited private investors to help rebuild and modernize South Africa's rail system, including a 300-kilometer-an-hour line between Joburg and Durban. This all forms part of a wider plan to open state infrastructure to private partners, following similar moves at Transnet Freight Division earlier this year. Now, the goal, simply put, is to attract capital and expertise that the state can no longer afford alone. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. We've heard this promise before. Years of corruption and mismanagement have left PRASA and Transnet struggling to deliver on even the most basic services, while the Gautrain's high-cost model and the notorious taxi industry make large-scale expansion a rather tough sell. Still, though, the department says that the vision is clear: faster trains, smarter ticketing, and regional routes linking major cities. So if it works, it could reshape how South Africans move, work, and travel, and finally start bringing the country's rail ambitions up to global speed. But until the wheels actually move, it's just another dream on the platform. Private education in South Africa is about to change in a big way, not in what it teaches, but in what it's allowed to call itself. You see, for the first time ever, the Department of Higher Education has approved a policy allowing private institutions to officially call themselves universities. Groups like Advitech and Stadio, which run brands like Varsity College, Vega, Rosebank, and Mill Park, plan to apply as soon as applications open. Now, it's an important shift, not because their degrees weren't legitimate before, but because university status brings global clarity. It signals that private institutions meet the same research, governance, and quality standards as public universities, and it helps South Africans align with international norms, where private and public universities operate side by side. So officials say that this will make it easier to expand postgraduate research, attract foreign students, and absorb growing local demand as public universities reach capacity. So look, in the end, the qualification stays the same, but the recognition and what it opens up for the sector is what really changes. And before we cruise on to our Bagel Bite of the day, here's a couple other headlines worth knowing. For starters, nearly 1,200 teachers resigned from Western Cape schools over the past year, mostly young educators between 25 and 39. The province blames crime, burnout, and better job prospects, while 24 teachers were fired for misconduct. Rating agency Moody's says that Eskom's funding plan may be unrealistic, warning that the utility still faces over 100 billion rand in unpaid municipal debt and tariff shortfalls that make its goal of regaining investment-grade status by 2028 challenging, to say the least. And a new mini-city is coming to Johannesburg's Newlands area, just west of the CBD. Called Central Park City, it will feature 3,400 solar-ready apartments, green spaces, and a pick and pay, aimed squarely at first-time buyers and young families. And on to our Bagel Bite of the day. Let's see what you got. The question is, which scientist famously discovered penicillin by accident? Was it A, Alexander Fleming, B, Howard Florey, or C, Thomas Morgan? Bonus points if you know in which year this took place. And on to our wildcard section. Most countries pick one capital and call it a day. South Africa, though, picked 3, and somehow Pretoria ended up as our executive capital. So when the Union of South Africa was formed in 1910, the new government had a delicate call to make. You see, Cape Town already hosted Parliament, Bloemfontein had the Supreme Court, but where would the executive branch sit? That's the part of government where the president and cabinet operate, running the day-to-day affairs of the country. So it was Pretoria, the former capital of the old Boer Republic of Transvaal, that became the compromise. You see, it offered continuity for Afrikaner leaders, a calmer political setting than Johannesburg's gold rush craze, with a location also far enough inland to feel strategically secure. Some historians also say that Johannesburg was seen as too commercial and too tied to British mining interests for this new post-Boer War administration to rally around. So it was Pretoria, now renamed to Tshwane, that took the seat of government. Cape Town kept the debate and Bloemfontein got the judges. In the end, a 3-city power share was born from politics, geography, and, well, the art of not wanting to start another war. And as for that bagel bite, it was Alexander Fleming who noticed in 1928 that a strange mold had killed the bacteria in his petri dish, giving birth to the world's first antibiotic. A discovery made by accident, but one that's reportedly saved over 200 million lives and counting. And my friends, that's it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys all had a great start to the week. Be kind to one another, and we'll catch you all tomorrow for the next round of the good stuff. God bless.